active with NGOs or with other associations that know women. LinkedIn, social media, they are very powerful instrument, but I'm a little bit old school. So I believe in the power of hearsaying,
Сарафанное радио.
Yes, mouth of words.
In Russian.
So, if you know someone, then you know some other one, you can contact us, of course, the project, us that are seeking now or are looking for these women. And, at the end, it's a social project. So I believe that all women should have the mandate, okay, to contribute, because it's all
about sisterhood or women supporting women, after all.
Of course.
And that I totally agree with you when you say I believe in the power of word of the mouth, and especially in places like in Uzbekistan, that's the strongest instrument that helps. For example, if one of your trainee women really gets to the point when she realizes, oh, I'm being selected for the tangible and useful project, why don't I bring my friend she's also interested in creating something and adding some value in,
of course,
making some steps to sustain herself.
But this is actually why among the preliminary activities, we discussed this on Sunday. Yes, we are now developing the training content, but just to make sure that it's really responsive to the needs of the potential trainees, we plan to run a pilot session in April, May, basically, so that, already by targeting 200 women, we will kill with one stone, two birds. On one side, we will test whether the methodology and the training structure module is okay in terms of, if it's too complicated, the language is not just or doesn't match the skills of the women. If it's what the women want, because again, maybe some of them will be more sophisticated than others in terms of financial literacy or costing. So we will need to have a sort of spectrum and flexible approach to ensure that every class receives the level that they deserve. And yes, and on the other side, the second bird that we kill with this stone would be, of course, the word of mouth. That if the women are happy, if they enjoyed the training session, of course they will go back to their community and they will share this experience that for 5 days they had a nice trainer, they learned something, that in any case they have, I don't know, a new idea that may change their life. Then, of course, for me, we have also to be pragmatic and realistic. We will not create the Silicon Valley with this project.
It's very good that you're saying this up front, because it's going to help to lower the expectations probably for some women who are aiming very high, ambitious goals, but the scope of the project is not designed to create a Silicon Valley. The scope of the project is much more down to earth, much more realistic, that matches the reality of those rural women.
Yes, absolutely. Now, why I'm telling this? Because, it's very okay to be ambitious. I believe that neither myself, neither you would be here if we were not ambitious women. But then you have also to cope with the reality of things, the way I see it, even if we still didn't start, we have not started yet the training, is that many of these women maybe will be working in the service sector. Perhaps they will, I don't know, open bakery shops rather than, beauty salon, for instance, or other small activities. Some of them will do something more complex. It could be agricultural processing. because we already had preliminary data this morning on some of these, mahalla, and we already saw that in some there are, let's say, more advanced to a certain extent value chain that it's worth exploring. But of course, in these cases, if we want that women engage in more remunerative and complicated subject, then there must be also a very clear plan on engaging them in more technical training. I mean, I'll try to rephrase, probably I was not clear. It's not enough to give them the instrument on how to open a business and how to operate a business. It's enough if you have, again, a service business that could be, I don't know, again, the bakery shop, the tailor shop, or whatsoever. But for instance, for women that aim maybe to have I don't know, construction related it will never be the case for cultural issues, of course, but it's just an example. Construction related business, production of certain material, then there should be the subsequent step to provide them with the real knowledge on this field. And this is actually what we have been doing also under another project here in Uzbekistan, funded by the Asian Development Bank, where basically, we realized that in the energy sector, despite there are many girls, enrolled in engineering faculty, still many of them don't actually perform engineering work. They end up doing administrative stuff. So in that case, to overcome this stereotype, this cultural barrier, what we proposed was to develop a new module to promote energy auditing in public buildings. So a new sector, energy planning, management and audit, where is not yet male, which is not yet male dominated, where women can participate because the equipment is not very heavy, they can carry in their own bag. It's not on
It
field.
doesn't require physical work, it requires more intellectual, more mental work.
I mean, also for auditing plants, industrial plants, there is intellectual work. I don't want to undermine the poor engineers.
But the most important part is that for female,
they would feel more safe, and not exposed to field work or
hazardous elements. Or
exactly. So this is just an example that, again, the more technical this project aims to go, I mean, in terms of business idea, the more it will be necessary to provide a real adapted solution to enable these women really to practice this job. Because otherwise it's just a statement of intent. Maybe me and you, for instance, we live in Peshko, we decide to develop a business plan, and we propose to do, I don't know, a startup doing drones, okay, for instance, because we like to repair, electrical stuff. Fine, I mean, it's a very beautiful idea, for sure, it's, remunerative, but then you will need real support. I mean, you will need real training.
This is how I see it so far. This is a very useful and very valuable tool that is going to give, let's say, my neighbor in Andijan, who has entrepreneurial spirit in her, and she always, for example, in summer, she takes orders from people and she takes orders and then she sews tote bags, let's say.
Yeah, correct.
But what is she lacking? She's lacking funding. She's lacking funding that's gonna allow her to get 2 machines instead of 1 machine that she has. And she's lacking some technical expertise in terms of running this as a small micro business. This is going to be a tool for those women who are willing to have their own money by doing something,
yeah,
even sitting at home.
Sure. for the sake of clarity, just to avoid misinterpretation and unattended expectation, of course, not all of these 3,500 women will receive the matching grant. Okay, not all of them will receive financing. But for sure, even those that do not receive it, at least will be exposed to how to structure a business idea and possibly how to find alternative ways for financing. Not every business idea requests a huge investment at the very beginning. So, you know, even for instance, your friend, if she already does this, it means that she has already the equipment, you know, to sew the tote bags, right? So probably instead of money, what she's missing is an organized way on how to improve the capacity, reducing the cost. For instance, if you buy 1 meter of textile, it has a price. But if you buy 100 meters of textile, just a stupid example, of course, it has another price. So all these items will always be, I mean, this knowledge will always be also to those women that unfortunately scored a little bit less in the business plan, but will still have the opportunity to put it into practice. And maybe why not? Maybe access to some microfinance opportunity or some other initiatives in Uzbekistan. I know now there are some banks that are launching microfinance instrument. This just to be clear, Umida, that of course the project is not in the position to give to all 3,500 the matching grant.
Let's speak about matching grant, because matching grant word has been coming up during this discussion for many times now, and I guess that's I see it as a light that is going to attract a lot of women. Of course, you will have a filter that's going to allow you to, it's by its own name, it's matching grant. The key word in here is matching. So if you're referring to grant,
depends on perspective.
Let's speak about the matching grant.
Yeah.
If you can share about the range of those funds or requirements, or how the process is going to be organized in order to qualify for that grant.
Yeah,
apparently you have some requirements.
At this stage, as you're aware, the project just started. We are still discussing the details of the requirements and the way it will be applied. The criteria will be applied with the minister and the PIU. So I'm afraid I cannot give you too many details because it's not final yet. But for sure, the grant should match whatever is proposed in the business plan. So as part of the training, our idea and our concept is that women learn to give a price to what they need to do the business. Mm-hmm. And the value of money they will receive is based on what they need to purchase or what they need to operate to run their business. So it will not be something that is done lump sum, let's put it this way, irrespectively of whatever business you propose, but it will be strictly linked to the business plan that the women present. And this also makes, you know, quite a logical sense, because maybe for opening, I don't know, a cleaning business, yes, you need equipment, but you don't need as expensive equipment, perhaps, of more technological agro-processing to make biological juice, for instance, because there you will need special machine that calculate the pH of the fruit, HSE, you know, standard procedure if you want to sell it in supermarket and so on. So this just to give you an example that, of course, depending on the sophistication of the business, the value of the matching grant will,
vary. Are you going to propose some business ideas?
Yeah, as I said before, we are already analyzing the sectors that have potential for value chain. We will not propose the business idea on behalf of the women. No, we will not do their business plan. We will not tell them what type of business they do.
But the industry